some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're channeling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, 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 baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, well, I don't wanna jinx it, baby. And twist myself at the spine. Don't wanna overthink it, baby. It's just twist your body and mine.
Well, hello everyone. You give me ice and fire. How is everyone doing today? I'm just getting stuff set up here in the background, so just give me a little bit of time. I'm a couple minutes early, so we're going to give people time to get set up, logged in, whatever you want to call it. All right, cool. All right, awesome. Right on. So we've got the heat map up on the screen. Yes, peaceful music from Thomas the Thermonuclear War Engine. Yeah, need some peaceful tunes because the market is just getting beat up. Not all in one chunk, but in just constant barrages of just garbage. Nico's in the house. Morning, Nico. Moshtaba is in the house as well. Earl Finance says, love the tunes. Thank you, Earl. Greatly appreciate it. So what is on everyone's mind this morning? We've got about a half hour or so until we get CPI data that comes out. Yes, let's hope for some good stuff, but expectations aren't good when it comes to housing. That's a big problem we're going to have to deal with. Energy, we're thinking, is going to spike as well on this report. The other thing that we're keeping in mind is what pops out from this. If it's just housing and energy, good chance that Jerome's going to be like, you know what? We could definitely take a pause. Now, we come out and something else starts popping, one of these other sectors starts popping that they start talking about, then you're going to have a problem. So, going to keep an eye on that. Going to keep an eye to see if everything is in line. But like I said, we're expecting housing to come out rough. We're expecting energy to come out rough. We just don't want anything else to come out badly. The other thing, too, is, inflation CPI data is reflecting now an upward trend. It's going into the wintertime. You're going to have energy costs going up naturally in the winter. I mean, that's not a good time. So we could be adding energy issues on top of seasonal energy issues. That's going to be a bit much. So, Yeti I Am says, do you think Bitcoin will rise off the CPI news? Well, here's the deal with Bitcoin, okay? And let's get this up as here. Bitcoin has not done much as of late. Just really hasn't. The miners were excited a little bit ago because the miners were able to fire up their rigs. Then a whole bunch of them had to turn down their rigs. All right, at around 30,000 for Bitcoin, 31, 32,000, a lot more miners can make money. A lot more rigs can make money. And when you see that, there's like this big ecosystem that fires up with it. So, but I mean, you could see, here, I'll put Bitcoin up here for y'all. You could see that with Bitcoin, though. I mean, what's the action here? I mean, March, we had that good pump. It went poopy then. I mean, it's just kind of, it's nothing on Bitcoin is holding. Look at this 30,000 run here. 30,000 from June 20th all the way up to July 23rd. So there was a month. So you had a month. You had a juicy month of Bitcoin. That's not enough, though. You know, it's just simply not enough. Mark Syntech, good morning. Good morning to you, Mark, and good morning to everyone else out there. Nico's in the house. Yet I am. Chris B is in the house as well. Moshaba hanging out with us. Thank you, everyone, for joining. If you got questions, comments, any topics are open right now. We've got a half an hour until CPI data comes out. Nico chimes in. My concern is, how can you keep inflation down when you're printing like crazy with no debt ceiling in place? It's counterintuitive. You know, and Nico, you're absolutely right. There's a difference between having to run your finances in the real world and how the government runs their finances. And I know that's a very simple way of saying it, but the reality of it is that the government needs to keep printing money, because if the government doesn't pay debts, if the government doesn't add more money to things now, things will just like implode. And I mean implode to where there would be so much short-term destruction. And now, granted, I do believe long-term wise we would be good. We would be better off from it. We would learn a lesson. But see, they don't want to go through that lesson. And they don't want that on their watch. They don't want it badly reflecting in their place. So you're right. Definitely counterintuitive. But these governments aren't about holding people accountable. You know, governments are very much like parenting, okay? And actually, it's very much like management in leadership, okay? When you have to deal with conflict, when you have to deal with any sort of conflict, it's not easy, and a lot of people avoid it, okay? Some of your best leaders out there, your best coaches are the ones that can deal well with conflict. The government doesn't deal well with conflict, because for them, conflict means, oh, I might get voted out. They might pick the person from across the aisle next time around. And that keeps them from actually doing things that hold us accountable. Now, obviously government performance is piss poor, all right? But we have to keep thinking of the concept of the government looking at it going, all right, if we hold them accountable, we, will lose our votes, we'll lose our spots, we'll lose our jobs. No, they just won't do it. So, Jason Chen says, top of the morning, Sir Klaus. Ready for your insight on today's crypto? Yeah, I'm ready to see. I'm not too particularly happy about the situation in the crypto market. Before I went live, I was having a phone conversation, and the conversation was exactly about that. We were talking about crypto and who's to blame. Because you look to put blame onto things, and Mark drops 5 on the channel. Everyone give Mark a big thank you. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. Mark says it's not much, but maybe a treat for your puppies. Mark, it's not about the amount. Comments are welcome. The super chat, super thanks are appreciated. I do greatly appreciate it, Mark. Everyone give Mark a big thank you. But on this phone call we were talking about was like blame. And blame is like a normal human emotion. You want to blame people when things go wrong, right? And a lot of the blame I have to put on the fact that I think a lot of crypto projects out here like when we look into this sea of crypto, right? And I, just keep zooming and zooming, and we just, and we just keep going, right? When we do this whole thing, what worries me and what gets me thinking is how many of these just underperformed, period. And when they underperformed, not only did they underperform, but they really underperformed. I mean, like, their expectations were up here and they delivered here or nothing. So you have a huge chunk of crypto projects out there that just haven't delivered. Right? Overpromising, under-delivering, that screws up your expectations. So, in terms of who to blame, I think a good chunk of it is a lot of these projects just promised bullshit, and a lot of them ended up being scams. There was one of them I did where the guy was promising smell-o-vision. Yeah, it was it's a black logo with a couple of hashes on it. I'm just trying to think of what the crypto is called. And I called them out like weeks before they launched, and it was total garbage. And yeah, one of their big things they were advertising was smell-o-vision. That they were going to be able to create machines that would generate smell through the internet. And predator vision, too. They were going to find ways to give us all predator vision. I mean, like, seriously, it was, oh, God, what the hell is it called? It's on the tip of my tongue. Their crypto logo, it was like a black square with, like, two dashes, two symbols on it. Oh, man, I've got a video on it. I've actually got several videos on it. I did a whole thing on their white paper. But either way I think that's part of who to blame. A lot of these projects just over-promising and under-delivering. And I mean, like, look at all of this vast array of projects. And, like, I could just keep going and going and going. I mean, it's just, there's too much. Jim says, when you read the info on any coin, most just seem to copy and paste. Yeah, odd word here. Yeah, it's like they changed their name, right? So instead of this token, it's that token, but the rest of the white paper reads the same. And the thing is like all these crypto companies did the same thing. We're going to have a DEX. We're going to have NFTs. We're going to have, maybe some automated market maker action. And it's like, we're also going, okay, cool. You've all redone this same shit. And that's honestly, so what bothered me was a lot of these companies out here that didn't follow through. It wasn't not necessarily that they just didn't follow through. There was more to it. And their timeliness too, right? The only people that really made it were the ones that got in super early. And this is company development-wise. I'm not even talking about like buying tokens and shit. I'm talking about company development-wise. DJ Chrome J says, what up, big boy? What up? Back to you, kind sir. So yeah, the overpromising and under-delivering by companies is one obviously definite group we could blame. The obvious blatant scams and lies, I mean, it just was too much. Rebranding smelly coin. Yeah, I mean, trust me, bro coin. Yeah, MILF token. Stick dicks. I mean, like, you had big name people out there. Okay, it's just... Jim says, one thing I do agree with, Brad, is that when regulation comes in, 99% of crypto will disappear. But see, the thing is, Jim, I don't know if crypto like that is going to disappear. Because according to Gensler, we already have regulation. Trick says, top of the afternoon. Wake and bake, kind sir. It's raining outside. It's wake and bake. So, what we're talking about, Yeti I am, chomping in and loving the action. What we're talking about now is who people are blaming in crypto, right? Where is the blame coming to in crypto? Just a lot of projects just being poo-pooed, not doing absolutely anything at all. And I have to agree. I think and it's true. They all did the same shit. And Yeti I am. That's my whole point to this. They almost all do the same thing. Like even like SHIB, like their path is like the same thing. You've seen like the ETH is like, it's like the same thing the NFT marketplaces. Like the gaming tokens haven't done anything. And that's the other thing. So like the gaming tokens, I just saw it. It was green up here and I was just looking at it and it was Mana Decentraland. Where the did I see it? Hold on. And I was thinking, all right, like here you got Gala, Sand. Here's Mana right here. What's going to be new at Decentraland? Like, the graphics on that sucked. I was big into it when it first came out, and I thought, hey, The reason the graphics look like shit is it just started. That's what I thought. That's seriously what I thought. And then I realized, oh my God, it's not that this is a beta. It's not that this is a dumbed down piece of shit version. No, this is their product they're reviewing and launching to the public. This is a piece of shit graphics wise. The concept is cool. We've had metaverses all the time, but the graphics sucked ass. At this fucking point in time, I've got an RTX card. All right, I'm a big gamer. I've got an RTX card literally right behind the camera right here. Okay, and I'm big MSI person. Big into gaming. When I saw the graphics with that, I'm like, come on, this is totally bullshit. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? Pixelated people? So, yeah, that's why I got turned off of it. JL1393, another one. Super donation, super chat for the channel. Everyone give JL1393 a big thank you. JL says, thanks for always not being completely full of shit like everyone else and telling it like it is. I've been listening to you for a long time. Thanks for all the entertainment. Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that greatly, and JL gives me a nice little number one with some balloons. I like that. Yeah, we're talking about who to blame in crypto. We've got 21 minutes till Jerome Powell comes in, so it's open mic right now, open questions. But we're talking about now is these projects in crypto just haven't done crap. I mean, like, seriously, Mana Decentraland. Like, who cares about it anymore? And, like, seriously, I was big on it. Like, when they were first launching, they were steaming and they were launching new things. It was awesome. But I remember specifically, Adidas did a huge drop. Okay? Huge drop. All right? Adidas was like, yo, we're going to do something big in Decentraland. Like, it was going to be like this big thing. And it was a nothing burger. It was like a clothing line. Atari was another one. Everyone was like, oh shit, man. Oh my God. You know, it's like Atari is just, this is awesome. Atari is going to totally change Decentraland. I got Mana up on the screen. And I saw what happened with Atari, and I was covering it on this channel. I've been doing this for a few years for those of you that are new to this channel. So yeah, I was covering that when they launched. I was covering the pre-launch. And it was the same thing. It was buy the rumor, sell the news then. So I've been watching. That's why I've been calling the market so well, because I've seen this whole thing play out now for years, and I've been watching it so close. Yet I am so sad but true. I sold most of my coins in last pump, and I know that coin Sushi Swap was ass. Yeah, a lot of these coins have turned out to be ass, and that's the problem. A lot of these coins overpromised and underdelivered, and it really screwed up the expectations of people. You know, one of the things that I thought about here a lot was Stellar, right? They're coming out with smart contract action. Okay? Cool. Like, I have no problem with that. Except the problem is like everyone else has smart contracts already. So it's not like you're differentiating yourself from your peers. I mean, like if you look at crypto, and if I zoom out, all right? When I zoom out and I look at this big blob of shit up on the screen, and here, I'll remove my face just for a little, just so we all can look at the blob together. Come on, let's look at the blob together. Morning wake and bake. Come on, everyone. But, like, when you look at this, you're looking at this going, dude, most of these do the same thing. And can you tell me any crypto up on the screen right now that has really changed things? They did. They all promised, oh, I'm going to revolutionize the financial world. Oh, shit, I'm going to make it so that you can pay prostitutes easier. I'm not talking about, like, that's what you should do. No, you're paying them because they're helping you move, not for a trick. All right? So for the censors out there, get your head out of the gutter. This is family-friendly programming here. And that's the thing. Look at the shit up on the screen and think to yourself, have any of these tokens out here really changed anything? Have they really changed the world to where if they were gone, the world would be like, oh shit, what the do we do now? I mean, Bitcoin to some extent, because a lot of people have it on their books. You know, but outside of Bitcoin, a little bit of ETH, you know, some stable coins. Really, what is it coming down to? And stable coins right now seem to be the one faring the best, and they still suck ass. We're just talking about right now who to look for blame, because I know a lot of people are upset with prices being down. Let's get back to your comments. Scott Murray says, nothing much will happen. I'm camping outside, pretty much homeless. Like, yeah, there's nothing going on. There's just no money. And what worries me about this is when we look at the CPI data, and we've got 17 minutes until Jerome Powell comes in. when you look at the CPI data, if it keeps trending upwards like it has been over the last 2 months, you're going to have more pressure that the Fed raises rates. The Fed raises rates, shit becomes more expensive. Today is CPI, okay? Today is CPI. And Jeremy comes in big. Holy crap. Everyone, give Jeremy a big thank you. Jeremy Touche drops in 100 on the channel, says, "Morning, Klaus and friends. Thanks for all you do. Help us stay informed and protected." Holy crap. Jeremy, thank you very much, kind sir. Guys, Jeremy has been just dropping lots of support on the channel. Wow. And Tomba Tondeles, welcome as a super supporter. Thank you. I appreciate it. Wow, lots of support for the channel this morning. Thank you, everyone. This is great. This is great. But CPI data, right? Let's continue on. CPI data. If it keeps going up, not good. Now, yesterday or 2 days ago was PPI data. Here's the problem. PPI data was up way higher than expected. Now, PPI data, okay, is what your producers are paying. The producers are passing this on onto the consumer. So now you're sitting here as a consumer and it's like, holy crap, the consumer's just going to get crushed more. And so now you add those conditions to overpromising and underdelivering of a vast market here. Those are conditions where everything turns into a blob like it's the same. Yeah, everyone, seriously, Jeremy, totally. Thank you very much, sir. Mark Syntax is wake and bake. Death Star is the flavor of the day. Smackin'. Colorado favorite, everyone. Smackin'. Jeremy Touche says, believe in what you're doing, man. Well, thank you, Jeremy. I seriously, like, you are rock on, Jeremy. I greatly appreciate that. Chef Natron says, you the man, Jeremy. Yeah, everyone give Jeremy a big thank you. And Tomba Tundeli, and hopefully I'm saying that right, Tomba, for being now a super supporter for the channel. Wow. So, when we look at the data, when we look at everything, we really have to just sit here and go, okay, what are we facing right now? People have been asking me, hey, look, all right, what are my expectations over the next 3-5 years? I'm going to do a video on it, but I'll give you a teaser, okay? Actually, no, I won't even give you a teaser. I'll give you the whole thing, and if you want to watch the video later, you can. 3 to 5 years, here's the whole thing. It all comes down to, for people in the United States, elections. If the elections stay controlled where the Democrats control the presidency and the Senate, you're not going to have anything happen the next couple years. That, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're just not. So, okay, that's just not good. I'm just saying, they're not going to change the way they're doing things. And that's not me picking partisan politics. That's just me saying, hey, this team likes this path. This team likes this path. Nico says, well, better than spending it on OnlyFans. Yeah, no kidding, right? No OnlyFans for this guy. No OnlyFans for this guy. But seriously, thank you, Jeremy. Big support, man. So, you have those conditions, you know, and when I'm looking at the situation as well, I'm sitting here thinking, it's also about where do we put our money? If things are going to be crappy for the next 3 years, 5 years, where are we going to put our money? Are you going to feel safest? Are you going to load up more on bonds? Are you going to play that game? The U.S. government game, the debt default game? Are you going to load up on securities, crypto, commodities, safe haven assets? And so for the 3-year time period, 5-year time period, hey, if we don't get changes politically, expect the same shit, but just with better financial conditions. All right? Now, if we do get a massive change voting-wise, all right? If we do get a massive change voting-wise, and I'm not saying that this is anything other than just crypto. This is only talking about crypto. And the Republicans come into play. You could get a lot of changes. You could get a change at the head of the SEC, because the head of the SEC, Gary Gensler, is too much power. One person is too much power. Doesn't matter if it's Gary Gensler. Doesn't matter who is at the helm. That's too much power for one person. Same thing with Rostin Benham and the CFTC. One person shouldn't have that much power. It should be more of a committee. Chef Natron says, Klaus, the only YouTuber that says my name correctly. But what's cool is that you have multiple YouTubers saying your name correctly. So good for you. Good for you, Chef Natron. So Now, we get the change 3 to 5 years. I think you could see a dramatic difference because not only would you have financial situations improve in 3 to 5 years, but you would also have the political landscape that would improve. The reason the political landscape in the U.S. is really important is because the amount of money that the U.S. has tied to its economy. Since crypto is traded globally, all right? Seriously, look at the screen, right? This is all traded globally. That's why there's no such thing as flip of the switch, because it's all supply and demand, right? So, with global trading of all this stuff, I mean, we're looking at these things going, okay, well, what are we getting out of it? In 3 to 5 years, if economic conditions are better, the strong ones, the ones that have the best projects, the best fundamentals, the best tokenomics, they're going to start getting more juicy action. So I honestly do. I believe that when it comes down to the question of 3 to 5 years, where are we at in crypto? I think it all comes down to the elections here in the next year. I think that's a really, really big thing. Because if you get change in the elections and they see, whoa, people are voting a certain way, maybe they're voting more financially based than anything, then you could see some changes happen. But if we don't get changes in the election and you don't get one party having control of all three, then who's going to pass shit? No one's passing shit now. And remember, I've been taking heat for this. I have been taking heat for this for a long time because I've been the channel out there that said, hey, look, we're not getting regs this year. I said this already in I think it was February. I was calling this way early and people were like, yo, dude, you're being negative. No, I'm not being negative. I'm just telling you right now that they're not working together. By the way, XRP price not looking good. Chris B says DCA, baby. Yeah, if you got any questions or comments, please send them in now. We've got about 10 minutes till we get CPI data, and we're going to do a deep dive on it. Remember, PPI data came out, and it came out bad. Came out really, really bad. Mark says, stay warm, Scott. Hope you're way south, getting damp and chilly up north. Yeah, we're starting to get the damp and cooler weather, too. Starting to be where, at night we're getting into the 50s down by me. Definitely damp, though. Definitely damp and chilly. XLM in some big problem action here. Why? Getting close to single digits. That's a mental morale breaker right there. DVR says, morning, Klaus. Will the bank start using ISO 20,022 in November? Might pump when the IMF talks are done. All right. And when it comes to ISO is just the messaging part of this. It has nothing to do with how you move money. Banks banks and other financial institutions are already using ISO. ACH payments right now are using ICO. ICO, Jesus Christ. ISO, my bad, guys. ISO has nothing to do with crypto. It's just a messaging standard. Anyone who's ever worked in manufacturing and production knows what an ISO standard is. It's just a standard applies to a particular thing, item, product, production method that says what you're doing is what you say and what you say is what you're doing. That's all it is. Basically, you want standards so that everyone's doing the same thing around the globe. That's what ISO is. Toothpick Tony says, hands down the best YouTube crypto channel. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sorry if I'm not flaunting around in the old Lambo with the Gucci and the Prada and the Louis Vuitton. My bad. Frankie Ortiz says, what's your top 5 crypto to hold long term, like 5 to 10 years? Bitcoin and Ethereum, most definitely. I think you do have to get something that has a utility based. Your XRP, your XLM. And I would also pick something from the meme culture. I would spread it out that way. Now, percentage-wise, obviously the meme one would get the least. But that, like I said, that's where you put your least amount of money in your most risky balance out. So, just saying. I would, but I think Bitcoin as a store of value is extremely strong. And Bitcoin Global as a store of value is big. The more countries we have that keep up their finances, the more you're going to have them use Bitcoin as a store of value. Sailor and MicroStrategy, Bitcoin store of value. Remember, when it's down like this, he can do a write down and take some juicy tax benefit. And he's in at like 29,000. Yeah, Chef Natron, you're real close to me, man. Real close to me on yours. Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, XLM, XEC Quant. BZ says, obligatory supportive good morning from Cali. Comment. There you go. You forgot to add the comment, but bro, I got your back. Nico says, guys, the whole ISO topic has been debunked. Klaus' whole video dedicated to this. Messaging platform, full stop. Yeah, ISO is just messaging. Best way to think of ISO is tires. Okay? Think of tires on your car. When your tires are made, you want to know that your tires are all made exactly the same. So that you don't have a tire made by a tired person, that was funny, on third shift, who's worn out, who's underpaid, underappreciated, and he's just slapping stuff together. No, you want to make sure that your tires are all made with very exact standards and processes, that the materials used to make these tires are also exact, right? The measurement, everything, that's what ISO is, making sure that everything is exact. Doing what you're saying, saying what you're doing. So when it comes to ISO is just that of banks. Getting the messaging for banks to mean what they're saying. Reason that's a big deal is the reason why ACH always took so long to move money is because bank standards of messaging to move money weren't the same. So like you could have deposit mean something totally different here and there. Country codes were all different. That was one of the first things that you saw that came out of ISO 2022 was country codes. So now when you're moving money from country to country, you actually have, hey, every bank now, when they use these codes, right, when they're moving from country to country, U.S. is U.S. You know, this country is listed as this. Like, they have, like, names for everything, and it's all very specified. So thank you, Nico, for pointing that out. We got 5 minutes until CPI data comes in. Inflation has been roaring up here lately. PPI was up. By the way, PPI, I almost did a video on it, and then I was like, I don't know, maybe kind of too dorky. But PPI data it was up 2.2%. PPI data was the first uptick they had since April. That's a long time. So with PPI data, what you had, all right, was it was going down a while for the last 6 months, and then you had a huge jump in PPI. And with PPI those are just the prices that the producers are making. Producer Price Index, PPI. Those are the prices that the producers are paying to make the products that you buy. Now, what we've seen is that in recent history, these producers are passing the prices down to you. That's why inflation is going up. That's why when you look at this number, it's upticking. That's why when you look at CPI data, food is up. Yeah, because if the price of grains is up, and so that means Kellogg's, when they're making your cereal, gotta like your Kellogg's cereal, right? When your cereal goes up, right, the materials for it to make it go up in price, that manufacturer is now going to pass that on to you. You then pay more. So as the PPI now just had a shoot up, look for a ripple effect a couple months down the road to be passed on to the consumer. There you go. DVR says ISO 20022 might just be for messaging, but the crypto who are 20022 certified are indicators for utility opportunities. It just means that their messaging is the same. That's all it means, is that their message. It's seriously, ACH is already using ISO. ISO 20022 is nothing new, and this is seriously. And once ISO gets standardized, ACH style payments will be just easy. Sitting in front of the gym, be back in 30 minutes. Dang. Dude, so yeah, I had a DJ Chrome J, you're going to like this. I had a duathlon based workout yesterday. I went running, and then I went biking, and then I went running, one right after another. And that kicked my ass yesterday. That really beat my ass. So for those of you that don't know, I'm doing a 6-hour ultra marathon at the end of this year. And I've got a really crazy 16-week training block, 15-week technically, training block. And yeah, I'm doing brick sessions, lifting several times a week, running super long runs. Yeah, just getting ready. So DJ Chrome, you got to get in that gym. You got to pump that iron, man. Willie Beeman style. Man, he is screaming Willie Beeman, who keeps the ladies creaming. Stuart Sims says, good morning, good afternoon, depending where you are in the world. I'm from North Wales, UK. A lot of support from across the pond. Trick Big channel supporters from across the pond. Ben as well. Jimbo Tango as well across the pond. Yes, good morning or good afternoon to all of you. We got 2 more minutes until CPI data comes out. Make sure you hit that like button to get channels like this, or this channel more specifically, some love out there. Why? Because we are bringing you the news without the boom and hopium BS, right, everyone? None of this boom, bullish. No, we're not boom bullish yet. You can't be boom and bullish when inflation rates are at 3.7. That's not boom and bullish is not inflation going on the uptrend. Boom and bullish is not XRP not even being able to hold on to 48 cents, sitting at 47.9 right now. See, look, Jimbo Tango in the house. That was actually pretty cool, Jimbo. It was almost like we had that planned. That was very crafty. Good job, Jimbo, listening. What's up, Jimbo? Doing pretty good, man. Got another minute or so until the announcement comes out. My butt is hurting from all the running and biking I've been doing. Commander Vlog says, got your like. I appreciate that. DJ Chrome says, I'd be dead. I own a construction company and I'm up and down ladders, jackhammering and digging on a daily basis. I go for additional strength. Yeah, I do. I do strength sessions 2 times a week. And then I do core sessions a couple times a week too. And that helps me with my running. Seriously, it really helps me with my running, cycling, and duathlon stuff. All right, I'm going to keep refreshing here because we are at 3.7 on the previous. Let's see what we get, everyone. 3.7, we got a repeat, so we stayed sideways. Not what we wanted to see. If anything, we wanted to see a reduction. CPI data has now come in here. I will remove myself from the screen. CPI data has now come in at 3.7. Let's see what the data says. JNL says, good morning and thank you for keeping it real. Best wishes on your 6-hour check. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, I knew it. Damn it. See, this is what we have to worry about. All right. Here, I'll show you. Hold on. Let me read it. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. The consumer price index for all urban consumers rose 0.4% in September. That's a lot on a seasonally adjusted basis, after increasing 0.6% in August. So we're still going up and up. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported over the last 12 months, all items increased 3.7% before seasonal adjustment. Here is the big problem, everyone. The index for shelter was the largest contributor to all monthly items increase, accounting for over half of the increase. There you go. Back-to-back months where essentially housing going through the roof, accounting for where people are spending the majority of their money. Housing is now just becoming so expensive for people. An increase in gasoline index was also the major contributor. I talked to my wife about that. I said, hey, we're going to have a big bump up on gas. I follow this stuff like very closely, like all day long, and I follow the commodities markets as well. So like I've just been watching this, so I wasn't too shocked on this one. An increase in gasoline index was also a major contributor to all the items' monthly rise. While the major energy component in the indexes were mixed in September, the energy index rose 1.5% over the month. That is not freaking good. Not good at all. So housing, everyone. Remember everyone saying, hey, the housing bubble. No. Private equity groups got about, estimates base it on about 11 to 23-ish months. 11 to 23 months, they say private equity groups, that's how much cash they have to weather this storm. So housing, I don't think you're going to see that bubble pop up. There's just no inventory on the market. And when there's no inventory on the market, that keeps home prices high. Then that also means rent is super high. I was taking a run the other day. And now that I'm getting ready for my my ultra, I'm running more distance, right? It's more for me, it's mileage, not speed or power or anything like that. And so I go and I was running in. They're building a new neighborhood out by me. And the majority of these homes, right, they're nice. I mean, nothing crazy, right? They're just, I'd say, average homes. They're building all these homes. So then I get home and I look and I'm like, well, what are these homes going for? And a lot of them are going directly to rent because they know people can't afford the high interest rates. So they're going right to the renter. That's nuts. And they were asking a lot of money for, like I said, just average homes. But CPI data is up 3.7% again. That is not what we want to hear. Look what happens when I zoom out. See this? This is the issue right there. And you know what? Let's draw just a little bit, all right? Let's do that. Let's draw just a little here. The concern that we got is that when we look at CPI data, it's this flat part right up here, right? This upwards inflection right here and this flat part. That's the problem. Okay, so what we're going to do then, all right, is we're going to come on here real quick and we're going to go in here and we're going to go check this out. You get to see all the videos I watch. How freaking cool is that? And all my video game maps too. My video game maps are on here. Let's see. No pornog. Fed meeting comes out in 20 days. Look at this. So this is now the Fed's expectation is that the pause is going to be in this next meeting, which is November 1st. And that then you're going to get it. You're going to actually get the rate hike then on the 13th of December meeting. All right. So what you do then is you pivot on over to the 13th of December. And 13th of December, there you go. You've got that much better chance. So that's the deal with CPI data. Housing comes in. That is not what we wanted. I don't know. This is, like I said, this is not the financial time to be saying boom. This is not the time to be saying, oh, this is we're gonna moon. You're not gonna moon because you're just not gonna be able to get the money to pump this moon action up, and you're not getting the follow through. You're just not getting the follow through from these companies. Let's get out of here. Let's do this. Let's paste this. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. All right, now we've got full screen action here. Is that better, everyone? There we go. Full screen action. This is the problem right there. All right? That's the problem. The fact that we've gone up and we've flattened out. And remember the goal, right? Our goal is to be right at this hashed line right down here. That's our goal. And people are like, oh, it's going to be so hard to get our goal. Dude, we've lived at our goal for years. We've lived at our goal for years. So now you can see the gap is increasing. As the gap is increasing, and Jerome Powell and the Fed have said, hey, look, guys. Hey, look, banks are healthy. That means the banks can withstand a longer duration of this bond gap. Remember, it's not like just because he doesn't raise rates, it doesn't mean rates go lower. No, they stay freakishly high. So you still got to cover that bond gap. Yeah, this just isn't like painting out to be a nice fourth quarter. Just throwing that out there. So that is the concern, that we've leveled off right here. And that is an honestly big concern, is this leveling off right there. Oh, man. Maybe it does a BART pattern. No. All right, let's take a look at what we got right now. Man, and the thing is, too, is we've got a lot of cryptos out there at crucial points. I mean, look at XLM barely clinging on to 10.2 cents. Doge, 5.7. I mean, Solana, right? That was another one we were talking about, the Sol pump. Well, that pump didn't last. 21.42. CPI data out. The nastiness came again from housing. Let's do a little deep dive. You guys want to learn and do some deep diving? When you go on this, and all of the stuff is linked in the description below, this video will be uploaded to the live stream folder when it's done. But when you click on food, right, food it away from home, okay? So your restaurants and so forth. This is what I was talking about with PPI, right? So if restaurant supplies, food, and all that are more expensive, they're going to pass it on to you. Look at this, see? So suppliers, right? Producers price index, so to produce that stuff. No Santa rally this year. No, probably not. Food at home, You've got beverages still up high. And you've got cereals and grains, right? We knew that because of the Ukraine conflict. Food away from home, meal services still up. We get that. Take a look at energy commodities and services. All right, nothing crazy there. Let's see, all items less food. Here we go. Shelter, transportation is still up. Yeah, it's just, it's a lot. This is a lot. Okay, here we go. Vehicles, tobacco is still up. Used cars, obviously we've seen this, but new vehicles, look at this, still up 2.9%. And that's up already from a previously high year. So you've got lots of pressure on the market right now. Lots and lots of downside pressure on the market. Medical care, look at that, 4.5%. Alcoholic beverages up 3.7. So like 3.7 is a lot. And remember, we want to be at that 2.0. We want to be down here. All right. This is where we want to be. And we're not even close. We've gone up higher. And with the PPI going up, that's going to definitely put more financial pressure on middle to lower classes. And that's where this gap, this is where the disparity comes from. And this is a global effect. Okay. So for those of you out there that wonder, how do the rich get away with this type thing? Here's the best way that I could put it, okay? The rich get away with this because they have enough cash. They have enough cash to withstand high prices. They have enough cash to buy homes and cars without loans. So when you start looking at high interest rates, guess what? They don't have to pay that because they're using cash to pay for stuff. Credit cards, right? 1 out of 2 households carries pretty hefty credit card debt. Credit cards drain cash. Why? Because the interest rates are so freaking high. When those interest rates are high, that's just eating up lots of extra money, right? The rich out there that have the cash, they're just paying for stuff. They're not putting it on the credit cards at 24%. So financially speaking, I mean, you're seeing that the people that have less cash, less income revenue streams are the ones going through their savings first. They're going through their savings the fastest. And they're now having to put stuff on credit cards. So when Jerome Powell and all the economists out there are like, yo, the economy is doing well. Yeah, for the high end and middle high end working class economy, yes, it is. For the professional world, yes, it's still very strong. There's still a lot of liquidity out there. But for people, right, that are middle to lower middle class to lower class, you are burning through your savings faster. You are now putting more debt on your credit card. The debt balances right now are skewed very heavily to lower income. Very heavily to lower income versus high income and middle income. Very heavily to lower income side. They are financing their lives with their credit cards. And the worst part is now is their credit cards are at a higher rate, all right, than they were in years past. So now if you're carrying more debt, and not only if you're carrying more debt, your debt is at a higher rate, you're paying a shitload more. Getting out of debt's not going to be easy for you. So that means you're going to have to do probably a little bit of bankruptcy action. So in the next couple of years, look big time for bankruptcies. Look big time for foreclosures, auctions. People have been wondering, what am I doing? For the 95 of you that are watching right now, let me take a quick sip. Jeremy says, so disappointing. Being new to this, I feel like I'm just losing money holding crypto at this point. Really don't know what to do. You just got to be informed and you got to understand the global conditions. That's seriously what it is. So what am I doing right now? I'm not spending any money on crypto. I'm not spending any money on stocks. Now, certain stocks are starting to hit my price points that I put big money into, okay? But I'm not there yet. I'm saving cash. The reason I'm saving cash right now is because I'm preparing for markets to get corrected. I honestly believe that all markets out there, crypto, stock, everything, that all markets out there are overvalued. I do. I truthfully believe that everything is overvalued because of all the money that was printed during the Rona globally, not just the U.S. I'm talking globally. Every country added to their debt. They were just like, yo, we got to. So with all that extra money floating around, it's got to get eaten up. So we talked about the lower and middle income families getting eaten up, right? You got to eat up debt too. You got to eat up all the money printer go burr stuff. That has to happen. You have to start paying that debt off too. So the first phrase, right? When you do money printer go burr, all right? First thing is money hits the public, money hits companies, money hits the government, and the government starts making bills on where all the stuff goes, the allocations happen. Well, after all that money gets spent, then you get to the part where you have to start paying those bills. You have to start paying those loans. And those loans now are very, very expensive. And so if you spent that money to generate revenue, awesome, cool. Then you have revenue to pay off those loans. But what revenue are you getting right now? So if you're not generating the revenue, you can't pay off those loans. That's a big problem. So my strategy is saving cash rent. And this is just what I'm doing because it works for me. All right? You all got to do what you do. That's why I try to provide you the best news that I can, the most accurate and fastest news that I can, so it fits your situation the best. But for me, I'm saving cash. Plain and simple. I'm saving cash because I believe everything is overvalued, and I believe I can make some nasty, nasty scores once more bankruptcies, once more foreclosures, once more auctions start happening. Auction prices right now, if you really want to see what shit's worth, go to auctions. You don't even have to buy. Just go to them and watch. Swear to God. Go to an estate auction. Go to a really big one. I mean a big one. Where they're selling maybe a house, cars, inside stuff. Go to a big one. You'll see what people are really willing, or what they're really willing to pay at that moment. That'll tell you what's trending. That'll tell you what market softness is like. You're still seeing people pay for big time for certain commodities out there. Chris B says, look at DXY, bad for crypto market. Yeah, DXY, that's another one too. A lot of people were saying, hey, that was going to shift. Haven't seen that happen either. You've got XRP 47.9 still. I mean, what are you going to do with that? I mean, XLM right now struggling. I mean, look at this. That's you're just talking about, hey, you're wiping out time. Scott Wilson says, what do you think the bottom for XRP what do you think the bottom for XRP and XLM will be before I start buying? I think that honestly, if these companies don't turn it around, and by companies, I don't necessarily mean Stellar and Ripple. I mean, if no one's using XRP and XLM for their projects, if no one big on XRPL or no one big on the Stellar chain is using XRP for payments, if we're still just speculating and we're not actually using this stuff for shit, then I'm not going to put my money into it. And that's my point. That's why I'm so heavy in cash, because in the crypto market right now, and again, this is just my opinion, it's all speculation. It's all people thinking, oh, this is what we're going to do. Oh, banks are going to use it. None of this has come to actualization yet. So for me, I can make a shitload more. I can make a shitload more on stocks. Why? Because of financials. And that's one of the things. I use the financials of these companies. I know which ones to play. I watch the commodities that are tied to them. I watch the overall markets, the PPI trends and all that. For crypto, what do you get? This is just trading based on speculation, because it's not like this is tied to a company's performance. XLM and XRP are not tied to the performance of Stellar and Ripple. They're just not. They're tied to global macro conditions. So if we know global macro conditions are going to suck for a while, I know I could make money elsewhere. And that's the big difference. There's people out there that want to buy and hodl. And that's totally cool. And buy and hodl is fine. But the reason I don't want to buy and hodl with this right now is because if you're buying and hodling, way out here, if you're buying and hodling, and this is what you're doing all the way from 2024, 2025, if that's what you're doing, that's too much time wasted for me to not make money on some stuff. I could come over here and I know I could start making some juicy action. Right? I just got to make sure I hit my buy points. Getting close. We didn't hit them. We got close. But that's the thing. Like I'm staying away, and the reason I'm staying away is because right now, if you're not getting any real usage of this stuff, we're just speculating, and that's dangerous. And that goes back to my thing. Who is to blame? It's a lot of these companies, a lot of the fan bases overpromising and under-delivering. I mean, seriously, if you don't see any big companies using these cryptos for stuff, what is going to be the point of them? All they did then was raise money off of funds, and you're not going to get anything out of it. A lot of people have been looking at Ripple doing an IPO. If Ripple does an IPO and they can raise money through an IPO, then XRP becomes useless, doesn't it? They're not raising money then through XRP. There'd be no reason for them even to add it to the market. IPO would be very interesting. Messi Leo says, when is the CPI data and what are we expecting? All right, CPI data came out, and it came out break even as it was the month before. So we are still trending to the upside. And that's what's going to be the problem here. Is this gap that we're looking for right here, this gap is staying big. Way, way too big. 3.7. So this is what we are going to do. We're going to end the stream at 9 a.m. So we're going to give you guys guys and gals, last 11 minutes. If you got any questions, comments, now's the time to answer them. Mass Gamer says, morning, Klaus, the boss. Thank you very much, the Mass Gamer. Yep, so if you got any questions, comments, you got 11 minutes to ask them. Chris B says, load up on silver and gold. Yeah, and that's kind of the other thing, too, is Chris brings up a good point. There's lots of opportunities out there, everyone. There are lots and lots of opportunities. I've played the gold markets now several times over the last few years. And the rotations, when I play the commodities market, right, the precious metals market, like, you can make, like, really good money doing that. And it's much easier to read this stuff. You know, it's much easier because you have things tied to the commodity. And that's my point. And Jeremy, you've got a good point. Oh, Bedard buried his first goal last night. Yes, so maybe I like it raw. Giving me the Hawks and Michael Jordan PSA down low. Thank you very much. But Jeremy says, Chris, that's my same thought. Yeah, silver and gold. The reason why silver and gold is an easy one to follow, and derivatives of that, Nico's got to bounce. Yes, thank you, Nico, for all the support. Thank you very much for being active, too. I greatly appreciate it. The reason I check out the commodities market is because the derivatives and the things tied to it, right? I mean, you can make some flipping good thing based on commodities. Like, and especially if you're following commodities and you followed them for a while. Spencer is in the house. Simone Spencer, good morning to you, ma'am. Thomas, the thermonuclear war engine, says, any good books in economics you could recommend? Not really, because I think what we're in right now doesn't really apply to a lot of that stuff. Mass Gamer says, Klaus, been watching all your videos. Thank you for all the knowledge and information. Yeah, I mean, think about it. Traditional economics, and that's part of the problem. Traditional economics, right? Your traditionalists are fighting now with your new age economic theorists. That's why a lot of stuff also doesn't get done in Congress, because even within the factions of people that are in finance, you've got traditional finance versus new finance, and they don't really get along well. So that's a big problem too. Best thing, you want to do the best thing, you want to start learning about like finance, economics, and stuff like this. Pick one market, something that you're really into, like hobby-wise. It doesn't have to be crypto what you're invested in, but something like if you're a gold bug and you like stacking, pay hardcore attention. Follow the gold market. It'll be fun for you to follow, right? If you're big on like energy and stuff like that and you like oil and stuff like that, dude, do the oil stuff, right? Follow the oil commodities market. But follow a market and follow it where you've got that on your phone all the time. Watch it and watch the news around that market and watch the global macro news and just watch how it just kind of like tugs and pulls at that market sector that you've been watching. And you will like seriously learn so much about macroeconomics and its effect on that sector. Because seriously, if you want to learn about like global economics, it changes all the effing time. And Jimbo Tango, thank you very much. Jimbo, let's give Jimbo a big thank you for supporting the channel. Jimbo says, later, Klaus, keep up the good work. Support from across the pond. Jimbo, thank you, sir. But yeah, so seriously, pick a sector that you're into, something that like piques your interest. Maybe you like to travel. Cool. Pick like airline stocks then, right? And just follow like airline stocks and follow it compared to global macros and the commodities like oil prices. And you'll learn so much by just daily watching this tug and pull. Thomas, the thermonuclear war engine, like hopefully that gives you the best idea on to do it. But seriously, find something with passion. If you're not passionate about it, you're going to be like, oh, this is boring. I'm very passionate about crypto and global finance. So the two, like, they're very hand in hand with me. That's why I like the idea of moving money for cheap. Mark Lucas Savage says, good morning. Do you think Link will replace Quant? Can they I think they can coexist. Now the problem is as these tokens, coins here, more of them coexist, they steal from each other. And by that I mean like they steal the token or market, right? Not the market cap, but the market that's able to go in. Learn the unprecedented. Yeah, I mean that's a way to put it. Learn the unprecedented. That's a good way to say it. I mean, it's hard to learn something. Lewin says, changed my XRP username as the XRP community was overhyping the coin. Sold at 83 cents. We'll buy back soon. And Lewin, yeah, that's exactly what I've been doing too. Is I've been doing that also with stocks out there. Why? Because I can read the financials of these companies. So if I know companies have a lot of cash on their books, and I know that their sector is getting pounded, I'm like, okay, if this company's got a lot of cash, they got a lot of cash to weather the storm. All right, so if they go down price-wise, dude, I can buy more without worrying about it going to zero. And that's basically what I've been doing. Reading the financials of companies and applying it to the macros and applying it to the peripherals of that company. So if they're gold companies, the prices for oil, why? Because when you harvest gold, there's a lot of fuel usage. That's their like biggest expense. And also the commodity itself. Thank you very much, Jimbo. Greatly appreciate it, kind sir. We got 5 more minutes. You got any questions or comments? Now is the time to do it. Crypto markets are not going to be a friendly place for a while, though. It's just not. And, you know, honestly, you know what could change all this in the crypto markets? What would change all this would be something big coming out with actual usage, utilization, use case. Not saying that there will be use case or that there will be utilization, but actually people like, oh shit, I want to use this. Like as a product, as a usage, as a thing other than speculation, people around the world aren't using ADA, XRP, Doge, and stuff like that. They're really not using it as payments, like en masse to make any price action happen. Right? It's just been speculation. So we got to get to something where we start seeing some of these tokens out here get used for something other than funding the company, the parent company that, you know, launches it and that has the supply of it. You got to get to some use case. And I'm not talking about use case where we keep talking 5-10 years down the road, because if you keep waiting too long, the opportunity will escape you. If you keep waiting too long, that money will go elsewhere. Okay, here, I'll make a point. And again, this all tries to be about learning and education on this channel. AI stole a lot of thunder from crypto. Remember when the AI boom happened this year in February and March, really big? I mean, it was AI everything. AI. Sniff, wrong color. It's on my thumbs, my good man. It's on my thumbs. If you look at the bottom of my thumb, Sniff, the color combo, you'll get what I'm saying. But anyways, it's. I think you need to get but Mass Gamer, it has to be more than utility. Like, it's got to be utility on mass. It's got to be utility where we do shit. It's got to be utility where something happens. Visa is utility, right? You can make payments everywhere you use it, but Visa is utility that's actually used. And that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of utility. My cup has a lot of utility, right? But if I don't fill it with the right nutrients, then what the hell am I drinking? I'm just drinking bullshit, right? That's what I'm saying. So we have to make sure that there's utility, but there's actual good shit with that utility. Because if not, then we're just speculating. Yeah, the bottom of my thumb, Sniff, you'll see what I'm talking about. Jeremy chimes in, says, have a great day, Klaus. Thanks again for the great information. Appreciate you, my friend. Yeah, Jeremy, seriously, thank you. And everyone, give Jeremy a huge, huge thank you for supporting the channel here. I mean, as of late, Jeremy has been like just above and beyond. So, Jeremy, thank you very much, sir. But yeah, I do. I'm with you. It's yeah. Okay. See, Chris B has got it. Okay. Let me read Chris B's comment real quick. Chris B says, look for crypto projects with multiple patents on technology. You are investing in software technology. Theta has multiple patents and will be the backbone of 3.0 in my opinion. Yeah, that there has to be something with it, right? That's a good point, Chris. Look for something that has some tied value to it. You know, that's where it's not just utility, but people want to use that utility. Okay? Here, I'll make a funny. You guys ready for a funny? Here, I'll make a funny. This pencil, okay, has a lot of utility, right? You can write on shit. I can compose pieces of art. I can draft, and I could do all sorts of very powerful stuff with this pencil. There's a lot of utility in this pencil, right? But look, this piece of shit isn't sharpened. So now, even though it has utility, there's no usage of this pencil since it's not sharpened, right? So again, be very careful. Don't confuse utility and usage. You got to get that. You got to get the usage of the utility. Otherwise you have what I have. A whole desk full of pencils that aren't sharpened. Right? And you're like, who keeps pencils in their desk? Well, I do. And spare glasses and eye drops and all that other shit. But yeah, just be very careful with usage and utility. Okay? Again, I try as much as I can to make it so that we learn on this channel, because I want people to see what is the deal with finance and all this stuff. What is the deal with over-promising and under-delivering? And how over-promising and under-delivering is probably the most damning thing to the crypto industry right now, too. Seriously. Seriously, it's way damning. The overhyping of all this stuff, that's why there's utility and no usage, because everyone keeps hyping the utility aspect, but they're not getting to, you need to use the shit, though. There's so many things that have awesome, you just have to use it. Tomba Tundele says, good morning, Klaus. I always wake at 5 a.m. to watch a show. Thank you. By the way, you say my name correctly. Well, thank you, Tomba Tundele. Thank you very much. And yeah, I've got a really tough name like Klaus. That's not really, going to be the easiest to pronounce. So, no, I thank you. And thank you very much for the channel members out there. Huge support to the channel. I mean, you need a pencil sharpener. Invest in pencil sharpeners. But that's my point, Chris, is you can have utility, but if you don't have the proper tools like pencil sharpeners, it ends up being used or not used. My pen, I could write all the time, right? I'm good with that. My glue stick, yeah, I keep a glue stick in my desk. You don't? So that's the deal. All right, everyone, here's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to play some tunes, hang out in the chat a little bit. If you got any questions, comments, I will be hanging out in the chat. But otherwise, cool cats. Great rest of your day.
Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, but I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Let's not get ahead of my time. Oh, but I don't wanna miss you, baby. So I stand up and speak just my mind. Oh. You're chilling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight.
And yes, thank you everyone for the support of the channel. I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to be heading out. Got to do some dad stuff this morning. You cool cats, though, have a great rest of your day.
You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me